Snoop Dogg's son is upset that he wasn't the top D-O-double-G when it comes to his pop's biopic. Also, Martin Lawrence explains why he'll never direct a movie again.
We got all that and much more. Plus, she's back. Radio, TV personality, concert connoisseur, and music enthusiast, Janae Chanel is here.
Hey. Yes, we're going to get into a lot today, guys. I'm excited.
All right.
Welcome to Side Dish.
There it is. There it is.
Oh.
Atlanta, Tokyo town. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
It is. Like, you know, like if you blindfolded somebody, be like, what city is this? They'd be like, didn't know, start bleeding, like they fall down. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Peace and love, man. Here at Side Dish, we're more than an appetizer when it comes to pop culture and fun. We had a whole meal. Shout out to everybody in their chat, doing their thing. And also big ups to everybody watching us on Fox Soul.
Yeah, shout out to the Soulmates. We got to keep shouting you guys out. Oh, Janae, good to see you.
Hi.
How have you been?
I've been great. Things are everything. So.
We're going to get into your stuff here in a little bit because we want to know what you've been up to since the last time we saw you.
Yes, I've been up to a lot. Been to a lot of shows. It's, you know, doing my concert thing.
I've been following you, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm living vicariously through you, because, like, you're not just doing the local gigs, too. You also traveling to go see a good show.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
Always. I'm going to see Chris Brown at wherever the Marlins play in Miami.
Okay, are you going to take a provocative fan pick with him, too? Because that's, like, part of the deal, right?
See, I don't want those type of. I just wanna be hugged. I just wanna be held. Just you just hold me.
Just 10 seconds of breezy hugging?
Yes.
Do you have to pay more or less for that? Just a basic hug? Like, nah, like, you know.
Oh, yeah, they might upscale it.
Yeah.
It might be a 500 level, because 1,000, you can get any type of.
Or it's like, I want a meet and greet, but no photos.
Oh, no, that's the underground VIP package.
You got to read the fine print, because meet is spelled M-E-A-T.
Yeah.
Meet and greet. So
that's a greet and meet.
Before we get started, we want to wish everybody a happy Juneteenth.
Hey.
All right, now, for those that don't know, today we celebrate June 19th, 1865, the day enslaved people in Texas finally learned of their freedom, making it a major moment in the nation's journey towards justice and equality. It also made me sad that, man, like, it was kind of like if you came to work on your day off and no one told you I was off that day.
Yeah.
Except instead of work, it was slavery.
And I also think it was for more than just, you know, a day.
Yeah, it was like a while.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the people that was overseeing the plantations knew.
Oh, they knew.
Oh, they definitely knew. They definitely
They
knew.
knew for sure.
Shame on y'all souls.
They were shooting the postman as he come up with the news every single week.
Don't you bring that sash around here.
Don't you bring that East Coast news around here.
Not East Coast news.
We don't want that news from the north. Okay, all right. That might have been really inappropriate.
Somebody's gonna get offended somewhere, because someone always is, right? But it's time for some Feed Me. And again, we're not sure if this is real or a skit, but remember when Vikings would have burials at sea?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is kind of similar. Stay with this to the end.
What? What?
Hi, Mom. Hi, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing an unboxing.
No!
Oh, man, that's a different type of funeral service right there.
Wow.
It is.
I thought the Vikings, their whole thing was then they would like set the thing on fire.
And then shoot arrows at it.
Yeah.
And float it away.
Or at least that's what they did in Game of Thrones, I think.
I've seen that in another movie, because I've only seen like 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, and no one died on the episode I saw.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, like I think we're in the same space.
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
First off, give it a try.
Okay.
But second off, like, I respect people who have different sorts of wishes for what they want to be done with their remains when they pass.
Yeah.
But I don't know about shoving Mom in her casket into the ocean.
Well, that's if you can't get a cemetery plot. Now that's the third option from cremation on down. That's like the last.
Yeah, like sometimes when I drive like around New York, like, and you pass any cemetery in New York, this is like, they out of space. It's worse than the housing and the apartment situation. Like, where are we putting these extra bodies? And if the land is locked, the land is locked. But I'm like you. I feel weird about pushing Mom in there, because I feel like I killed her twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Do you think, I have to ask the real insensitive question here.
Come on.
Like, is Mom prepared the same way, like at a funeral? Like, is Mom prepared, like, did we take her out of the funeral, put her in the hearse, then put her in the boat, and then like shove her off into the water?
Yeah, she wrapped up in plastic.
And so like, because those sharks are gonna smell real good.
Well, you know what? They smell for blood.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they thinking they eating like a chocolate bar per
Yeah.
se, like with the casket being
getting
the
in on
thing.
it like a corn dog. Like they're gonna get through the rough outer exterior to get to
the sweet goodness.
the delicious embalmed body.
But I was just about to say, they get all that fluid.
It would be like
Nasty.
a human jerky at that point.
Yeah.
Ew.
With no.
Oh my
man.
God, a Slim Jim.
Can we run the video? Can we run the video back one more time? Because there's one part at the end that I think I heard where the guy's like, "Bye, mom," and I'm just like, that feels insensitive. Watch this.
Bye, Nancy.
Like, blah, blah, blah. Au revoir.
Hi guys, welcome back to my
Wow.
channel. Today we're doing an
Bye,
unboxing.
mom. Bye, Nancy. She's not getting on another boat.
Right.
What are we doing?
So I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
do any of y'all have any weird requests for like y'all way out?
I don't know. I might go for something like, they can like do the thing where you become a tree, or they
Okay.
have a tree grow, something like that maybe.
Just don't be in California.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just want Juvenile, back that ass up to be played as I'm easing on down, to see the Most High.
They've got the hole dug and they're getting ready to lower it. And it's like,
Yes, yes, yes. I need the horns. I need that whole New Orleans, how they do when somebody die. I need all that.
The whole second line.
Yes, I need everything.
Make it festive. Put the fun in the funeral.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg has an upcoming biopic, and actor Jonathan Davis was chosen to play Snoop. Well, Snoop's son Julian, who auditioned to play his dad, was upset that he didn't get the role. He shared these posts to his IG story. One says, "Look, I bit my tongue for that BS. They pulled on straight out of Compton. All eyes on me, and now this rubbish? I'm only growing older and wiser with time. Yet the decisions I'm seeing made to honor someone I genetically come from are absolutely appalling. Real West Coast king. Stop playing with me. It's royalty. It runs deep in my bloodline."
That was a pretty good impression.
Yeah, I'd never heard him talk.
I didn't even know Snoop had more than 3 kids. I thought it was just the 2 boys and the daughter. This is crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, like
So you can't be mad. You wouldn't even, you just wasn't.
He is official, but
Oh, he looks like him. He
This
yeah.
looks like deep cover Snoop Dogg right
Yeah.
here. Like he definitely got the look. And our producer Arlene was telling us this is not like the one of the children that he has with his wife. This is like a
Outside baby.
B-side baby, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. A lost track.
Yeah. You feel me? I was in. It was in
But
that
if
I
he's
wasn't that late.
talented, I feel like he should get a shot. But also, just because you're somebody's son doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you're guaranteed to get to play
It's better
that person.
to work and earn it than to be given to you.
Yep. And I've never seen him in anything else, so I have nothing to compare his acting
Yeah.
chops
Yeah.
to. I know Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jack. No, not
Yeah.
O'Shea.
Phenomenal
Yeah.
actor.
Oh,
You're
O'Shea
right.
Jackson
Not-
Jr.
yes.
He even named after his dad. Like he actually took a lot of acting classes, and he got put through the ringer. I don't know for certain if this guy's like taking worked
Right.
with acting coaches just to make sure you got everything down, because you could have your dad's tonality and mannerisms, but if you can't read directions or if you're bad in interpreting script, that could definitely cost you the job.
He's bad at nepotism. He's not nepoting right.
He's not. He's bad at nepotism.
Yes, he's not. He ain't doing it right. You ain't supposed to be lashing out online. Just go to the director like, "Hey, I'm Snoop's son. I look just like him. Give it to me."
Or maybe I wonder, like the other thing is could you, if it's me, I'm thinking about a pivotal time in my dad's life, and I'm writing a 5-page script, and I'm making a 5-minute thing starring me as Snoop, so that people can see it.
Oh, yeah, because I know somebody was trying to be Richard Pryor did that, and they just wanted to show all the non-believers out there. Also, Tyrese did that for Django. Did not get him the role.
That's right.
Unfortunately.
Poor thing.
But some people feel like maybe Snoop's wife has something to do with don't get that kid. Sometimes we treat people like that.
Yeah.
He ain't one of the babies.
He's only been here for 5 seconds. I've never seen that young man until today. So I don't understand. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard.
Yeah, maybe
Be like the other kids. Play some sports.
maybe if there's a movie where he gets to play Snoop Dogg's son,
Oh yeah.
he can maybe audition for that.
He's been.
Well, he
auditioning
did.
for that.
He keep going. They just keep turning him around.
He's
at
been
the door.
auditioning for that a long.
He loses that role to what's the guy that be wilding out all the time? Orlando. Yo, how'd you know who I was talking
I
about?
knew you was Orlando. That's the only one he got.
He don't look no parts like
Love
Snoop
you.
either.
Dang. All right. Well, I hope it works out for him. I hope he auditions for something and he gets it. And I would love to talk about his new movie or his new TV show at some point in time. But right for now, we're going to move on to Joshua Jackson and Jody Turner. Jody Turner Smith. They've recently divorced, but Joshua is giving some pushback on some of their agreed-upon split custody time. In a letter submitted as a court exhibit, Joshua objected to Jody's proposed 5-week trip to London and a separate Morocco trip, stressing the importance of frequent and meaningful contact with both parents for their 5-year-old daughter.
Jody also submitted research about the importance of Black mothers' presence in the life of a biracial daughter. Joshua responded, I have read some articles about this, but I am always willing to educate myself further if you can send me some links or citations while acknowledging his limitations as a white father. Joshua also let the court know the father-daughter relationship is important.
Yeah. Man.
This is some real high level, but I want to spend time with my kid.
Yeah. And to do this during Juneteenth, too, is just like, come on, fam.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know that there was an issue before where she was trying to move the child out of the country.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't agree with that because you're really making it difficult.
Yeah, you're making
It's
it
not
difficult
fair.
for me to see my child.
But it's summer. You know what I mean? Like, if mom would take kiddo to Morocco, this is the time to do that. You know what I mean? And, like, Joshua, I feel like, your pockets is probably still straight from the things you do. I haven't seen him do. I don't know.
I don't know what he do.
I think he is.
He's
an
still
actor.
acting. He's still acting. He's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an actor.
Oh, he's famous for a show called Dawson's Creek, which was like late
Dawson!
90s. That he's not Dawson.
Oh.
You got so happy.
He was
like,
Pacey, but
Oh, yeah, I used to watch that. Now I did.
all right, there we go.
Yes.
So, man, let's
Yeah,
have
and
a break.
the other thing about this is like, you're so right, HK, it is summer, and very few things are more enriching than travel and a kid being exposed to other areas of the world, other cultures, seeing those sorts of things firsthand. And so, like, think about it through that lens. Yeah, if mom wants to take her kid on a trip, she should absolutely be able to take her kid on the trip.
Yeah.
That kid does have to come back.
Yeah.
To America.
Right.
Like, that's what their custody agreement is.
He probably like, don't take her too long, because if you don't bring her back. You know how some dads is.
Man, like,
They're petty, man.
It goes from case to case. But if the shoe was on the other foot and Joshua wanted to take her to Holland or something,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd be like, it's the summer, let it rock.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can't move out the state and keep that that kid away from the parent unless y'all have like an agreement. So
Yeah.
hopefully y'all can settle this amicably.
Yeah, take it to the courts then.
Take it to the courts.
Alrighty. Martin Lawrence sat down for his very first podcast interview with Sean Stockman from Boys to Men on his On the Note podcast. Sean asked if Martin would ever step back behind the camera to direct like he did with A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And here's what he had to say.
Get that. Movies are interesting. Now, would you ever direct another movie again?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Cause
I heard it was stressful.
The one the Thin Line Between Love and Hate that I directed, damn near killed me. I almost didn't make it through that movie.
That's crazy.
Because I was doing everything. I was acting, I was writing, I was producing, and everything. And it was just too much, to act in it and direct it. It was just too much. And I almost didn't make it through it.
Yeah. I asked that because I remember seeing an interview with Eddie Murphy, and it was right off of Harlem Nights. And he directed that. He wrote it. He acted in it, the whole 9 yards. And he said same thing. He said it stressed him the hell out. He was like, he would never do that again. Like,
That's tough because both of those were really good movies.
Great movies. Awesome movies. I don't know. You think Martin is like a little disturbed, like kind of like has like ADHD or maybe a little autistic? I notice how he talks with his hands.
I think that, because when he was doing the press runs for Bad Boys, the last one, I know that, a lot of people had questions about like, hey, are you okay? And there's been rumors that he suffered a stroke, but he said he hasn't. He's just like, sometimes I'm tired. But when you're used to seeing
understandable,
somebody be so high energy, like when you watch Martin, even the Old Def Comedy Jam, you can see that something is a little off, a little different. I know sometimes people age right before our eyes, and not everybody ages the same.
That's true.
Some people slow all the way down to a crawl. Some people maybe just look old in the face because he still look young.
Yeah,
in the
he
face.
looks good. He
but
still looks
yeah,
good.
but he's moving a little different. But his stand-up is still on point. I've been seeing clips.
Yeah.
He got it.
Yeah.
When he was just here, it was great. It was good, I would say.
It's interesting, like, just switching back to that thing of, like, wearing multiple hats, of being the writer, the director, the producer, and the actor. Like, those are 4 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Right? And so for one person to do all 4 of those jobs is a lot. Like, and you'll hear about it. People do it. People certainly do it, but you have to love it. It has to be
Yeah.
something that you want to be that person who's overworked. You know, maybe you're only sleeping a couple hours a night because you've got to rework the scene for tomorrow.
Yep.
It's like, yo, this location went out. We got to go to another, you know, and so it's like,
Yeah.
I get it. That's an
Being a
extremely
creative
stressful.
overall is just so hard, especially being disciplined when you're doing everything on your own. So, yeah.
Yeah, and people sleep on like the complexity and how many different
Oh
parts.
my God.
Like when you see a screen crawl at the end of a movie, all those different names. Everyone has a specific job,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometimes all you have the bandwidth to do is just go out there, show up, and act.
Oh, yeah.
And for anybody who does both duties, man, salute to you.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
lot.
difficult. Another boss in her own right is a Keke Palmer. Now, have you ever wondered how Keke Palmer came up with her son Leotis' name? Well, here's what she told Scott Evans on his show, House Guest, about that.
Where did you
Not
get
even
his
me,
name from?
shit. Leotis, oh my gosh. So that was, Darius actually made his name. He wanted both our names, which is so crazy. My parents did the same. My parents do that same
it's
shit.
very Chicago.
So,
It's
why
very
is it so
Chicago.
Chicago? Like,
Very Chicago.
come on, Williani. Daddy named Willie, I guess. My sister's name is Laurencia. My dad's Lawrence. That's too much.
Hold on.
My parents' email is LaRon, Larry and Sharon. Guys, you gotta stop. It's too much.
You said the email?
Like email is LaRon. It's Larry and Sharon together, LaRon. LaRon. Y'all were doing that shipping shit back in '85.
I need you to stop.
They was over there with the Vanessa, and remember when they used to do that back in the day?
I need you to stop.
Jelena. LaRon. So yeah, that was him trying to put like Derry us and Lauren like Leo us. Like it was just too much. But I said, hey, let's
Okay,
do it.
let's do it.
It's adorable. I was pregnant. It was, you know, anything
It's
went.
adorable.
It's adorable. Look, it's us. It's fabulous. I told her daddy, I love it. The name is good. You know, and then also it was like it sounded like an old name. Like I'm so like.
Right.
So I was like, it sounded like he was marching with Martin and then.
It does.
It's like Leotis.
That's what I thought.
Jackson.
Hello?
He gonna be on somebody.
I don't know if Leota's gonna have a fro when he get up doing it. I swear if he cause that name, look, she gonna get calls.
Yeah, you don't know too many. You don't know any Leotises. None.
None.
But it also
None.
sounds like a name you should know.
Leotis?
Because I'm so familiar with Otis, I just feel like Leotis is right around the
That
corner.
sounds worse than Cleophas.
Cleophas?
Cleophas.
Yeah, that's the
Leo.
name.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them
Wait,
out here.
there's really a...
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
yes.
there's some Cleophases. And it's spelled how you think it is.
No. Not with a PH? Not with a PH?
Yeah. Fuss. Yeah,
Literally,
fuss.
yeah.
Yeah, but those merging of names, man, that's how you get people walking around named Jamantha.
I
Yeah.
swear.
Yeah.
Ooh, we.
John and Samantha.
My parents had a dog named Shada, and that was a combination of Shelly and Daryl.
Ah. See, that makes sense for animals.
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 Yeah.
But humans? Like,
on,
you are relegating this child to George Jefferson sideburns for the rest of his life. You know, just on the street.
Child was born old. It's also funny thing about Keke being very pregnant, being like, it's adorable. You know, hormones are raging.
I was just about to say them hormones, man. They make you do anything.
Yeah.
Mom brain for real. Well, listen, after the break, we going to catch up with Janae, deep dive into Barack Obama's handshakes, and did Malcolm Jamal want to think Theo was corny? All that, 2 minutes.
All right, welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Janae, so good to have you back.
Thank
and
you. I
what
love
we
it
on June 16th? You launched In Tuned with Nay.
Yes.
What is this about? Tell us all about it.
So it's not a podcast. It's simply just a show showcasing all the latest concerts, me talking to artists, producers, DJs,
So that was,
everybody in the music industry, and a little bit of sports too.
Oh, very
Bridging
cool.
the gap between sports and entertainment. So I'm excited. It's going to be a thing. It's my baby. So you can find it on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Janae Chanel. And that's my name across all platforms as well.
And be sure you run it up and put that extra E in there, because it's not Jane Chanel's Janae.
Yeah.
That's what the extra E is for.
Yeah, man.
So your nickname is the Concert Connoisseur. What shows have you been to since the last time we talked that completely blew your mind?
I would say Kendrick and SZA. I was like, they literally packed the bins out. It was so many people there. 2 Chainz and his kids was there. You would be surprised. A lot of your cousins, they was deep too. I was like, they was right there with me. We was singing and everything. Yeah.
How was their Seawalk when like us
man, I don't know. I still I gotta brush up on it.
Gotcha,
I'm not from the West though. I'm Midwest.
Oh, okay.
Okay. More like the Cleveland walk.
Yeah, that's the real Seawalk.
More of a drop down, get your eagle on type.
Yeah. We got our own little style of dancing, man.
Yeah, man. And the crazy thing is, like, with it being summertime, we are like in festival season. So like, there's so many opportunities from week to week to just throw money at a venue to go see some of your favorite people.
It's an R&B festival all the time. You see, it's a boots on the ground festival.
Wait, Boots on the Ground got its own festival?
Yes, it's this weekend.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, this year is gonna be the real test, because a lot of y'all bought y'all cowboy hats in December, and you don't realize that you gotta get a different hat for the summer. Good luck.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Everybody a cowboy right now.
That cowboy Carter hat is gonna be too hot in July.
Everybody, I can't wait. She's next.
I told people, man, you see me with a cowboy hat, smack it off my head.
I swear, that's one thing I do. I draw the line. I ain't wearing no hat. I put the boots on. Can't wear the hat.
Yeah, tried to act like we weren't there before. Don't put us in now. All right, well, moving on. Our forever President Barack Obama sat down with the fellas on the Young Man and the 3 podcast, and they compared Key and Peele's famous Obama handshake skit to the one he did in real life. Peep it.
The Key and Peele, the handshake, is that you're thinking that's like an accurate representation.
Here's what happened. I'm going down the road, right? A lot of those guys I knew.
For sure.
It's Steph, it's LeBron. I've been knowing those guys forever. Coach Few I'd never met. And he put out his hand, and so I'm like, all right, I don't know. Bro hug, I don't know. So I just shook his hand. Kerr was right afterwards, and Steve I knew.
Yeah.
But the way it played out, I will say it looked just like that Key and Peele skit.
Did you know right away people were going to make the comp?
No, I had, it wasn't conscious. But when they ran it side by side, I had to say, all right.
Yo.
Spot on, man. Spot on.
Forever iconic.
Yo.
Literally.
How did he get younger? Because a
Lack of
lot of
stress
times the
now?
presidents come out, they be looking like they've been through it. Like they stared at the Ark of the Covenant, no glasses. He looked like he's like stress-free.
The presidency made Barack go great.
It's like he's back to inhaling.
Yeah, my boy living his best life. He looking good. Him and Michelle look good. Just love y'all.
Now, but it speaks volumes of how plugged in Key and Peele are, or just the psychology of comedy.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't have planned that. Because with the skit being first, and for that to be a real thing that happened, hopefully we get to the point where, like, how everybody be like, the Simpsons predicted the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully not. We don't get, because like some of those Key and Peele sketches was crazy, and you don't want none of that stuff to happen in real life.
Yeah.
But man, like, well done, guys. Well done.
That was wild.
We need a
Moving
reunion.
along, Malcolm Jamal Warner stopped by Melissa Ford's Hot and Bothered podcast, and he shared how he really felt about his character Theo from The Cosby Show. Check it out.
Like, I always felt like Theo was corny, and I want Theo to be cooler. And
why'd you think Theo was corny? Because he had 2 parents and it was a loving household?
No, you know what it is? This is what happens when you put too much attention on the negative than the positive.
Okay.
Everyone loved Theo.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But I was fucking with the people who were like, Theo's corny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody called me America's favorite white black boy. And I was like 15.
I feel like that assignment goes to Carlton.
Yeah, this is pre-Carlton though.
Okay.
It was pre, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like 15, and like dude said that, and it hurt me, right?
That is hurtful.
But it's the.
But that's why I asked, because with the corniness, because why? He came from a good family, a two-parent household. It's unfortunate that that's seen as a negative and addressed as a negative, and you're made to seem like you're corny when it's just like, no, you're well-adjusted.
Yeah. And unfortunately, people see that. That's the trauma.
Wow. Man. Why are we like this as a people sometimes?
I don't understand. Like, why do I have to be a thug? Why you want to be a thug?
Yeah, we don't want to see the very special episode of The Cosby Show where Theo catches a gun charge. You know what I mean? Like, when your parents are a doctor and a lawyer, you're probably going to be out of harm's way. You're probably going to not necessarily be with the rah-rah crowd. And I always thought Theo was the epitome of cool.
Yeah.
Except that one time he got that Gordon Gartrell shirt with the weird sleeve and collar that Denise made for him. But even he knew that was whack.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that was part of the whole. I mean, and listen, far be it from me to like understand all the intricacies here, but I also feel like that was the point of the Cosby Show, was a different presentation.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, but I can also 15 and hearing people say those kinds of things and then immediately judging the creative work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Not realizing it's so dope to have a father that's a doctor. You know, I don't know. None of my friends their parents are a doctor. I've never grew up around anyone who was in that, you know, field. So it's dope to watch TV and see that, you know, before, you know, Cosby went through what he went through. But, you know, it was a great representation of black folks.
Well, question everybody in the chat, and I'm not talking about the actors per se, but the characters. In their prime, Theo Huxtable versus Eddie Winslow, fist fight, parking lot, after school. Who wins that?
Oh, man. Okay. Like, Eddie Winslow's got to have a slight advantage just because his dad's a cop.
Okay. I didn't think about that. You know, but was his dad a good cop? Because his daughter went missing, and they never found the daughter, you know, before the season. And she just went upstairs, and then the internet found her, and then that was it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you talk about, oh, yeah, she's in the porn world.
Yeah. Even if you did it for a week, it was like we keep you there forever. Like, oh, she's still, right now she's doing it.
Right. Yeah, she thought about it one time, you know, and forevermore.
Yeah, man. You know, my money was always on Theo because, like, when you think about your closest homies that you have, right? Theo's closest homie was Cockroach. Cockroach had a little bit of edge to him. There was also a Puerto Rican kid that Theo hung out with too. Eddie Winslow just had, I forgot the guy's name. Well, I mean, there was Urkel, of course.
Yeah.
But then there was the other guy.
The other annoying guy, right?
Yeah,
he was like the nerd.
He was like a nerd.
Waldo? Was that Waldo?
Yeah, Waldo.
Crew for crew?
Yeah.
Fist for fist?
Yeah,
Thump for thump? Nah, my money's in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Or Manhattan. Where was the Cosby Show established? Was that Brooklyn? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yes. Yeah, my money's on Brooklyn.
All right. Well, we should put together more fights from vintage TV characters. See
Kirk Cameron versus Rick Schroeder.
Let's go. All right, moving on. 80s singer Lisa stopped by the Sway universe, and she opened up about details that she didn't know were in her contract back in the day.
In those days, women were under a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah.
How you look, how you sound, you know, who you hang with, who you date, right?
Yeah.
If you get pregnant, you can't have a baby because the music business came first, right?
Yeah, that's what they did. They made me sign papers, and I didn't know till years later that all of that was in those papers. No driving fast cars, no pregnancies, no relationships, they controlled everything.
So the details were in the production deal?
Yeah, it was a production deal that I signed, and then that whole deal was signed to a very small label, Personal Records. And then that company went and got us the deal with Columbia.
So you mean to tell me that I can't have sex or drive a Honda Civic? Because that's a fast car. That's a fast car.
That's a fast car, man.
Okay.
I think it's not necessarily the car, but like don't drive the car fast, you know.
Oh man, listen. So why men could drive fast cars back then, but little Lisa couldn't?
Maybe they was just trying to protect her. I don't know. It does seem a little bit overbearing. And when she said she didn't find out till years later, like,
yeah, like,
did you find out after you got pregnant or did you have a fast car?
What was the order here? Like, there's a part of me that wants to go to the place of like, I bet a lot of the contracts from then were very similar. The pregnancy thing obviously wasn't included in the men's contracts, but like, part of it is like, if I'm about to invest in you as a talent, I need you to be healthy and available, and so I can't have you get into a car wreck, and so like, I don't want you driving a fast car.
Oh, Tanner.
I'm reaching. I'm reaching, Janae. I'm reaching out here.
Well, the crazy thing is, like, now I could put it all in perspective and be, you know, because when I was 8, I wanted to get her pregnant. So, like, and that's why I couldn't because of the clause.
Yeah, the clause. It's a good thing she had that contract.
Yeah, because
keeping your love separate.
I'd been a young dad.
Yeah.
A real young dad. Because those songs were everything. Love You from head to toe, Lost in Emotion, Let the Beat Hit 'em. Like, I mean, she'll bop the back-to-back bops during the time when they were showing music videos all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd be out there, little short frame and a little headband on. Yo, man, listen. I'll holler at both Lisas.
Hey, Lisa.
Anyway, after the break, did someone gentrify the Black Panther? We're going to talk about the crazy story of the sole survivor of that India airplane crash. All that and more coming up in 2 minutes.
Welcome back. All right, now we all know the king of Wakanda, the Black Panther, played by the late great Chadwick Boseman, is, well, black. There he is. But as it turns out, the next Black Panther, y'all, and I didn't write this, I didn't create this, don't come for me, but the next Black Panther might be my cousin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard that right. A blonde-haired, white-skinned warrior, at least according to the white-skinned warrior. According to the new comic, Marvel Knights, The World to Come, Volume 1. That dropped this month. That, believe it or not, that is not a drawing of me right there.
It looked like it could be, though.
Could
like,
be me.
It looks like the lion from the Wiz a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, especially on the dark side. Well, what kind of mess is this? All right, so for those that don't understand, let me break it down for you. Now, in the new comic, Marvel introduces a white Black Panther as the new ruler of Wakanda. So basically, this is an earlier timeline before the elder T'Challa died. Now, elder T'Challa fell in love with a black woman named Monica Lynn, who presumably just so happened to be pregnant with a white man's baby when they got together. Kind of like, not like a break baby, but a pregame baby, if you will. Yeah, so there's that.
And then, and that white baby turned out to be T'Challa's other son, Katima, but not by blood. So in the new comic book, Wakanda is on the brink of collapse when Katima, his estranged white son, defeats elder T'Challa in combat to take the throne, becoming a new Black Panther.
So, you know, Black Panther, but make it white. The Wakandan streets are wondering if Ryan Coogler plans to switch it up with his storyline for the third iteration of Black Panther. Probably not.
Yeah, nah.
Probably not.
But if he put that Irish dude from Sinners in it, the guy that played the main vampire, like that dude seems like he would be pretty good in anything.
Yeah.
I would say put Bucky Barnes as that person, but you know, he's already Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, he's already. What did they call him?
White Wolf.
The White Wolf.
Yup.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's going to cause a lot of mayhem because you know how they is. You know how we are.
I just want to say, whatever comic book writer was like, all right, but she's already pregnant with a white dude's baby. Like, whichever writer threw that in, diabolical.
Yeah. Once again, on Juneteenth.
On Juneteenth.
We're doing Juneteenth. I mean, and I know that the comic book history has a lot of just story arches and branches that we may not necessarily be familiar with in the cinematic space. Because a lot of times people be getting mad at stuff that happens in the cinematic space that completely happened in the comic book.
True.
Like, there was mad people who was mad that Sam Wilson was Captain America. Yeah. Guess what? He was Captain America in the comic book too. So you can't necessarily be mad at it. And I just wish they would have did it in a cinematic form and like didn't even let people know what was going on.
Just committed to it.
Yo, Black Panther's here. Like they got this kicking all the ass in the world, right? And then at the end,
and it's Ryan Gosling, and he's like Wakanda forever, and we're like, what? What? Not Ryan Gosling.
Yo,
there it is.
So funny.
Yo, I would love to see Ryan Gosling in that role because like I like him and stuff, and I feel like he should be in more things.
Yeah, he's a great person.
Because Tom Cruise getting tired.
Yeah. Janae, what do you think? If you had to cast a white Black Panther, who would you?
Whew, that Leonardo DiCaprio. I love him.
Oh,
I
okay.
just love you. Oh, and Brad Pitt. They're my type white guys.
All right.
So you trying to make elders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love them. They're my man.
They're consistent. They'll show up to work. You know, because like a lot of times too, also there has been race swapping with some other characters too. Like I know for a minute there was like a black Superman. They was even talking about Michael B. Jordan being Superman in some level of a WB reboot.
I would like that. He's always playing the mean Marvel characters or something. Like let that man.
He was Killmonger. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, but he had like they killed his dad.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is he was right.
Yeah.
He was right.
I was low-key team Killmonger.
He was right.
In that whole situation.
That's just good writing.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other thing. I don't know if white Black Panther. It sounds funny just even saying it.
The Vanilla Panther.
The vanilla, not Vanilla Panther.
The Swirl Panther.
Swirl Panther.
He wear black and white.
Or Blanc Panther. Blanc Panther.
Oh, it's so funny. Switching gears, so we've all heard about the tragic London-bound plane crash in India where 242 people were aboard. Miraculously, there was only one survivor, 40-year-old Ramesh.
Don't even try
That's
it.
a hard one.
Oh, right?
Yeah. Ramesh, we can go with that.
Okay. Ramesh, who was seated in seat 11A. He was thrown from the plane on impact, and despite his injuries, was able to walk away from the wreckage.
Oh my God. Check this out. A singer, an Indian singer, revealed he also survived a fiery plane crash back in 1998, which killed 101 of the 146 people on board. And guess where he was sitting? Also in seat 11A. That's the same seat as the sole survivor of the India plane crash. Now, clearly, just to be clear, these are not the same planes. Both of these planes crashed. This is the same seat on the plane, at the same spot.
But
So
did that
now-
guy take that selfie after the crash? The guy, the Asian fella?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Because the other guy was really worse for wear.
Yeah.
And the other guy was like, yo, God like me.
He was like, I'm doing good,
Yeah.
realistically. I got there fast.
Man.
I would say, I'm going full emergency mode. I'm starting to bring parachutes with me.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Hey, yo, Amazon parachute, get you one. Everybody, make sure you got your asthma inhaler because we can't breathe up there.
So, were you kicking open the door and jumping out?
Heck yeah, we got to get out. Listen, we all gonna die today. At least I tried to save myself. But if God want me right now, I ain't gonna argue with him.
Yo, I operate in a similar headspace. I've always had this crazy idea, like if the plane was going down, I'm gonna wait till I feel like, we close to like 100 feet.
That's how I imagine going down in the airplanes how you are on a roller coaster. Like I couldn't even, I don't want to imagine it, but I'm just like thinking like it gotta be like the impact you get from going over, woo, too, you know, like, to me.
Yeah, I mean, my legs would be useless as tails after that, after landing. But, you know, but maybe I like my chances.
I think it's wild. This dude was in 11A, so that's 11 rows back, and I feel like that's an aisle seat. I could be wrong.
No, that's a window seat.
It's a window seat?
Window.
That's a
Yeah,
window
window
seat.
exit row.
So that plane had to crack open in such a specific way to fire him out.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's crazy. And a lot of times people say the back of the plane is safest, but we 2 for 2.
Man,
I've seen things where like they purposely loaded up a 747 and crashed it just to see how it would happen. Like if you cut it and it just does whatever.
Yeah.
And basically everyone in first class is 100% screwed because a lot of times that part of the plane just like opens up and is gone, and the rest of it comes through. So people at the wings and back. Allegedly stand a slightly better
and
chance.
to think I'd be so mad sitting all the way in 38B. I'm the safest.
God put you there.
As a matter of fact, put me between the 2 biggest people on the plane.
I swear to God.
Shoved me in like this with their seatbelt extenders. I feel like I'm in a big bounce house. We're gonna be all right.
Whatever maximizes the chance for survival, you take that. You run with it.
Absolutely.
What's your preferred seats in the chat? You know, like usually I try to aim for the exit row seats because, you know, extra leg room. I just hate when you don't have no place to put your bag.
Yeah.
I
I just hate when the flight attendant's like, oh, well, you know, we have to let you know. I know, but it's like, this is not my first word. I understand they have a job to do, but it's like, dag, I just sit here and watch that man inflate that daggone floaty and say this. Then you coming over here talking about some, oh, well, since you're in the extra row, I got to let you know this offhand topic. Listen.
Yeah, by the way, are you available to assist in the event?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to die for y'all. I just met everybody on this plane. Hell, I don't even want to come with the person I'm with. Talk about my die for you.
Fair enough. Yo, as soon as they ask me to buckle my seatbelt when they leave, I unbuckle it.
Me too.
because if the plane goes down, I want you to figure it out.
Exactly.
Do your detective work.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, but we got more side dish in 2 minutes.
No, for real.
This doesn't make. Welcome back. Hey. Now imagine spending your entire life on a primarily liquid diet due to a health condition, and then bam, you can try new foods now. So a 24-year-old man has been on a liquid diet with the exception of potatoes, corn, and rice for most of his life due to a rare condition called I'm gonna call it EP, right? Gastroenteritis, which basically means your body thinks certain foods are harmful and attacks them. But after starting a new medication in 2021, he's able to try new foods, and he's documenting every last bite on TikTok. Check out my man eating tacos for the first time.
All right, it's my first time ever trying a taco. It's got some ground beef with taco seasoning, tomatoes, and lettuce, and just a hard shell. Give it a shot. So many textures.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm presuming that's the taco seasoning, but oh my gosh. It's not like aggressive on the first bite. It just kind of is very strange. It's not bad. Might do it again without the seasoning. I'll do one more bite here. Too many textures. Maybe it's the spice. Off the top of my head, too spicy. And surprisingly too many textures. There's too much going on.
Okay, Tanner, off top. What's with y'all in season? why y'all don't want? Why is it too much season? Y'all don't. What's with the season?
I love seasoning, by the way. I love seasoning. I need all my things seasoned. I even have drinks seasoned.
Okay. I know that's right.
She's like, I know that's right. But also, my cousin here, doesn't he look and sound like the kind of guy who's never had anything interesting to eat in his life?
Yeah,
where he was like,
textures.
I'm just
Very
gonna try
default.
the first bite of this taco. You know?
A
taco's an adventurous first or second round food for a person who just started getting the things. I would have started with some fettuccine Alfredo or something.
Yeah.
Work your way up the texture scale. But the ASMR and that crunch.
That's a
was
solid
something
crunch.
special.
This is also, I feel like, a homemade taco. So like his seasoning proportions could have been way off.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of throw that out there.
that's true.
He didn't. I noticed what he didn't have and what he should have had is a bag of Taco Bell. Like some people who've got it perfected.
Yeah.
Some people would debate you on that. I'm not one of those people. I would stand on a hill and be like, Taco Bell is great. And
That's
some people
what
would
he
be like,
shoulda
you want to
did.
live? And I'm like, so what? It's good.
Or even just a street
Yeah.
taco.
He should have just tried fast food first. Because imagine
Yeah.
if he would have been into one of them Popeye's chickens.
Oh, he would be
yeah.
dead. Jamaican food, dead.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, he would have
If he
definitely.
did like jerk chicken or any of those like super spicy Wingstop wings, like 3 Mile Island,
Oh yeah.
or any of that, like yeah.
What's
he'd
also
be outta
sort of
there.
beautiful is like the idea. Imagine like all of a sudden you got to have new flavors that
Yeah,
you've never had
that's dope.
tasted before. Like that would be really fun. But then
Yeah.
I'm scared that at the end of this he's gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna stick to my tomatoes, potatoes, and corn. You know, like.
The
What if
rivers
they
and
on
lakes
a
that he's
liquid
used to.
diet?
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time y'all tried a new flavor that you haven't tried before? Because that's so rare that happens to us as adults.
Crawfish. I thought all this time I was allergic to crawfish, but it's in a shell. I'm allergic to fish, but I can eat it I can eat shellfish.
Oh, okay.
So what I did, I went to Juicy Crab, pulled up next to Grady, had my EpiPen and everything ready.
Okay.
I ate it. I was like, okay, I ain't fanning out. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I can eat it. I'm so happy. I love crawfish.
The level of preparation that you did, the fact that you drove your car to post up next to Grady Hospital just in case it went left, good for you.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
scared.
responsible. That's responsible eating, responsible snacking right there. I got my EpiPen, boom. It tasted great though. I had to know.
You won't find this one unresuscitatable.
That's how I'm gonna die. I'm going to give me a purse dinner at 80. I'm just.
A catfish dinner?
Yep. Go ahead,
Listen,
give me
I
something.
love catfish. It's real good. But I don't know. I mean, man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to something a little more morbid, because this wouldn't be side dish without a little bit of dark humor.
All right.
So you guys ever thought about how you'll be remembered after you pass on? Thought about?
Yes.
I try not to lend energy to that.
Yeah, man, me either. I don't think too much about it. Janae, you already?
Honestly, I just want to be remembered for my goofiness.
Okay.
And my love of music. That's it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love that. So a woman named Alexis stopped by her friend Jasmine's house for a girls' night, and instead of binging a Netflix series, Alexis made a funeral montage of herself so that she can be remembered at her hottest, and she made her bestie watch it on the TV. Check this out.
And it goes through my whole life. This is my best work.
Why would you put your best friend through that? I'm already crying because I would go crazy if I lose mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
feel
Alexis got this idea after Jasmine's cousin got into a terrible motorcycle accident. Luckily, he survived, but it inspired her to get her affairs in order. She wrote in her will, designed a power of attorney and everything.
Wow.
Like, that's weird.
Evidently, she's been working in the funeral industry, so you know she sees a lot of this.
Yeah.
Morbidity's kind of her thing.
And I think it's like cool to be that prepared if you can't be. One of the most inspirational things, probably the only takeaway from Coming to America, the second movie in the series, was they did King Joffrey's funeral while he was still alive.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times people know they might be like dealing with an ailment or something, and you know, we on the clock right now. And to be able to receive your flowers while you can still smell them and get that love from people, man, I think that would just send you out of here with just so much fulfillment and just so much appreciation for everybody around you, because a lot of times people be at funerals like, wish I could have said that one more thing to them.
Right.
And that kind of just takes that away, you know, like it alleviates all that.
Yeah.
But nobody ever wants to have those conversations, though. They're just like, just not even thought of right now. Like, girl, why aren't you talking about you dying? Like, I don't want to know. Like.
Also, it's probably a good 40 years away, easy.
Yeah.
She looks, I don't know, somewhere in her 30s. And so she's like, I want to be photoed at my hottest. Now, I would like to be able, I should start a folder on my phone where it's like, if I die, use these photos. These are the ones that I signed off on. They look good. Yeah, that's one for me, my shirt off, but that's the best shape I've ever been in. Use that one.
Oh my God, we're gonna start putting together funeral packages for our friends.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Or AI will do it for us. You just never know,
sure
man.
will.
But listen, man, we got to run back. But when we come back in 2 minutes, we played everybody's favorite game. Whose cousin is it? Let's solve some crimes, y'all.
Welcome back. All right, it's time for everybody's favorite game.
Whose cousin is it?
Janae, you remember how this game goes, right?
You see, I'm like, ooh.
Whose cousin? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, solving crimes, you know,
all right,
racially stereotyping people.
Here we go. We're going to get right into it. Is someone trying to pop off a pandemic part 2? Because 2 women just got arrested in Detroit for allegedly smuggling and shipping biological who knows what into the U.S., hopefully not for a villain story, but for science at the University of Michigan.
Now, one of the women who's working on a project at the university straight up shipped roundworm samples to her lab crew without a permit. And the other biological bandit, she also worked at the lab and is accused of scheming with her boyfriend to bring toxic fungus into the U.S. It's giving baddies, biological edition.
Okay, somebody call Zeus Network ASAP. So the authorities, are you all right? You okay?
Sorry, I can't. I'm listening and I'm cracking up. I'm sorry.
So the authorities are still trying to figure out if these smuggling Sallys are in cahoots with each other, or is this purely coincidental? But either way, the biological baddies will remain in jail until further notice.
Oh, man. What cousins are these? Mr. Queen? I know you got some choice, some choice ones. Or was it Quinn? I can't remember.
It was Quinn or Kian?
Yeah, Kian. Yeah, whatever you want to do with the Q there.
Mobile laptop is chiming in right now.
Justin Harris, where are you at? What are you thinking?
I think it's biracial. I've been seeing a lot of them get caught with the aloe and the Lululemon and all that lately, so I think it's a mixture. I think it's the Ricans.
What?
It's the Ricans.
Oh, the Ricans. Other cousin?
Yeah. I'm not even stereotyping, but one thing I've never heard in a sentence is Puerto Rican scientists.
Not
to say that there aren't any.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
That sounds like I don't know. I don't think if it is a white person, I think it has to be someone who has a little bit of Pakistan, black, Armenian.
I think that would instantly make them other than, like,
yeah,
just
be
other cousin.
Yeah.
Other cousin.
But to her defense, we are living in a time where, like, a bridge in New York was attacked by the Mexican Navy. So, like, you know, there's just things that are in our blind spots sometimes.
That's true. That's true.
Because there's black scientists too, but I mean, the only one I know is Mariah. That's it.
Yo, you a nut. I love it. I'm gonna go with other.
Yeah.
And because they're two people, I don't want to like be wrong by like identifying, but I have my suspicions.
I'm gonna go one mine and one other.
Okay.
Because it's two people, right?
Two people.
We got two whole bodies, two biological baddies, one important fungus, one shipping roundworms. The one shipping roundworms is probably my cousin.
You think so?
I think my cousin would try to ship the worms and maybe not fill out the paperwork right.
Oh.
I'm gonna go spelling bee winning cousins.
Spelling bee cousin?
Yeah. And it's usually two demographics that kind of got that on lock. I was actually at Fox the other day with a spelling bee winner.
Oh!
Yeah.
Cousin?
Yup.
Cousin.
Not my cousin, no. Other cousin.
Yeah, spelling bee, other cousin.
All right, so we locking it in? 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Move that van.
Oh, Chen Chuang Han and Young King Yan.
Filipino cousin.
Oh,
Could
man.
be Filipino, but
I was right though a little
Wait,
bit.
is Han or Kian Filipino? Which part of that name is Filipino?
yeah.
Those names.
No, they might be Korean.
I think Chinese.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yes.
My bad.
Winner of the Scripps National.
Now hold on a second. Yo, Detroit, much more diverse than we anticipated.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that coming from the D. I thought that was somebody else.
Nah, that's just when they went to school. They didn't say they was
Oh, they went to school?
Yeah.
That H-1B visa.
Yeah.
That H-1B be hitting.
That's funny. Next they was gonna be indulging in them pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Wow. What? Also the shadiness of the producer was like, are they trying to start another pandemic? Blaming the Chinese. We see you, Kim.
Wuhan got you all in check.
Wuhan. Got you all in check.
Yo, Janae, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Where can people follow you and check out the podcast?
Janae Chanel and YouTube.com/Janae Chanel.
Awesome.
We
Guys,
love your
thank you
digital
so much.
faces, man.
Yes, thank you. I
Thank
love
you so much for
guys.
tuning in, guys. We love you. Happy Juneteenth. And light it up in the comments, guys. HK, you got anything for them?
Hey, yo, listen, man, we just appreciate y'all coming on this ride with us every day, and everybody that's watching it for the first time. Thank you. You're welcome here. Jump in those comments so we can shout you out as well, all right?
Happy
Peace and love,
Juneteenth.
y'all.
Bye.
Hey, what it do, everybody? Yeah. Welcome to Scrolling with Genevieve, another great episode. And you see how we are dressed, right?
You see
the colors, you see the shirt. Come on
vibes.
now. Okay, had to bust out the fro.
Hey, come on, fro. That fro was doing what it's supposed to do.
Come on now.
Come on.
We are talking about Juneteenth.
That's
this
right.
whole episode.
That's
okay?
right. Absolutely.
Emancipation Day.
That's right. When we were freed, honey.
Absolutely.
Juneteenth, 1865, honey.
Yes.
When they let us free.
And let me 1863.
Yes.
And let me tell you, January 1st to be exact, we brought in the new year right.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's celebrate this.
Woohoo!
We got a fun-filled episode. And V.
And we got that red drink, honey, our